Dr. Milind V. Kulkarni, I once again welcome all the participants for the second session. Now I request Mrs. Divya, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Sujoy Sarkar, to the August gathering. Over to you, Mrs. Divya.
Thank you, Dr. Parvatikar. Greetings to one and all present here. It is my privilege to introduce today's guest of honor and speaker, Dr. Sujoy Sarkar. Currently working as Assistant Professor at VIT University, Chennai campus, Tamil Nadu, Dr. Sarkar completed his PhD in 2015 from Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, Karnataka. He has been working in the field of material science and electrochemistry for the last 10 years. His research focused on the development of a new layered electrocatalyst for electrocatalytic reactions and electrochemical energy storage systems. After completing his PhD, Dr. Sujoy moved to the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Israel, for his postdoctoral research. Later, he moved to the City University of New York, USA, in the years 2018 to 21 for his second postdoctoral research. Dr. Sarkar has published many international research papers in peer-reviewed journals with high impact factors. He has also served as a reviewer for ACS, RSC, and Wiley journals. We are indeed fortunate to have an accomplished person like Dr. Sarkar as today's resource person, who will be giving a presentation on importance of research methodology in scientific research. Welcome to the workshop, sir, and we all look forward to your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dibba, for your kind introduction. Okay, so I'm just sharing. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. So the screen is shared now.
Yes, sir. It's shared, sir.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Deepa, once again for your kind introduction. And I am privileged to have this opportunity to present in this virtual international workshop on this research methodologies. So my sincere thanks to the organizers for the kind invitation and this resource person as a resource person for this workshop. Yes, I have been in this field of this material science and electrochemistry for the last 10 years, and I have been involved in the research and research related things for the last 10 years. So I feel that it's very important for the students who are aspiring their higher education and in the field of research, and the students who want to engage in the field of research in their future. So for them, it is very important to know these research methodologies in the scientific research. Because if you look at all the universities, not only India, in the foreign university or the research institute, they are now inserting this research methodology in their curriculum extensively, because it is very important for the students who are coming to the research to know about these methodologies and about the research. So it's a great opportunity for me also to talk about this one. I hope they hear a lot of this master degree, this PG and UG students are there who are thinking to get involved in the research in their future. So I hope for them it will be a good session and to learn something. Because one more thing I just want to include, that research methodology is a vast thing. It's a very broad area. So in this stipulated time, I may not cover all those things, but definitely I give them some broad overview of this is this research methodologies in this scientific research. So with this, I have just designed my this outline of the talk. Is that the first I will introduce what is the research methodologies, and after that I'll just give a definition and of that what is the scientific research, or what is about the research as kind of a definition, and then how the scientific research, what are the steps are there. Okay, what are the objective of the research? Means why do we involve in the research? What is the important? Why? Again, the question comes that why we will be interested in the research. Then we'll go to this various. Then I'll show some various types of the research. Then one of the most important, that the research designing and the data processing, that is the kind of heart of the research. So I'll just a little talk about that, and I'll show some of these practical difficulties and challenges when we come to the research field, and of course some research ethics. And finally, before concluding, I will just show that what we stand now, the kind of the Indian research, why we are right now. With this, sorry. So, okay, what do we mean by this research methodology? So, if you carefully observe that in this word, the research methodology, it contains the two words. One is the research, and other was the methodology. So, by definition, simple definition is the research methodology is a specific procedure or techniques that used to identify, select, process, and analyze the information about the topic we are interested. So it follows the scientific investigation rules. So if we just see this little cartoon, that is this problem solving, and it's a problem solving loop. So in this one, this is the first we identify the problem, and then we explore the information, and then we select the best method to do the research, and then we do the trial and error, and finally we'll just evaluate, or finally we'll just find out that what is that. So in this research and methodologies, in the methodology is a theory on how the research should be undertaken. So in this term also that it should not confuse. It should not confuse with the methods and the methodologies, because methodology is a theory of how the research should be undertaken, and the methods, how the techniques or procedure to be obtained. I'll just go little elaborate this understanding the methodology and the methods. So the methodology is it may be understood the science of studying how the research has been done scientifically, or in it that we study the various steps that are generally adopted by the research by studying the research problem along with the logic behind it. So the methodology refers the more simple set of methods. It refers to the rational or the philosophical assumption that underline the particular study. So it can be defined that the analysis of the principal methods, rule, postulates are employed by a discipline, or it may be a particular procedure or set of procedure. So it's not just a single step. Its methodology is a set of procedure. It's not it's this one or two steps, and it should be a systematic study. It's not this haphazard studies and this one. It's a systematic studies of the method and have been applied with the discipline. So altogether in the methodologies, it's a collection of theories or concepts, it's comparative studies, different approaches, and the critique and the individual method. So this is all about the methodology. But on the other hand, method is a codified series of the steps taken to complete a certain task or reach the certain objective. So it refers to the techniques that researchers use for performing the research opportunities. Suppose, as example, the collection of data, analysis of data. It means that description, explanation, justification of the methods. So it is a way to solve the research problem logically. It is, and the scientific and in the scientific methods, it attempts to minimize the influence of the research bias. So there are some research bias and that have mentioned here, and sometimes the common sense or the logic that tempted us to believing that this test is not needed, test is needed. Or another common mistake during this researcher bias is ignore or rule out the data which is support to this hypothesis. So with this, the brief introduction of the research methodologies, methods, and this methodology is done. I'm just going to move to the next one, the definition of the scientific research. So before going to the scientific research, I talk about what is research? How, from where it came out? So research is a re and search. So re means once more, afresh and new. Or back to the return to the previous states. That is the re. And search means look through or go thoroughly to look something or examine to find something or anything that correlated. So the researcher came. The research is the middle French word. It came from this. It came around the 1577, and it's actually meaning to go about the seeking. So it's not easy to define the research by a simple definition. There are a lot of definitions in research. According to the Redpen and Moody, research is a careful and systemized effort to gaining the new knowledge. In another definition is from the Oxford Dictionary, to endeavor the discovery of the new knowledge to old facts by the scientific study or subject in the course of the critical investigation. This is also not enough. There are some definitions that research is a scientific way to answering question and testing the hypothesis. Is the definition? It's a definition. Is a research is a systematic and objective analysis and recording the control observation that may lead to the development of the generalization, principle, theories, resulting prediction, and possible control and events. So that is the reason I showed that there are some 3-4 definition, because it's not possible to define in a single sentence or few sentence to what is the research. So research is a collective thing. It's a systematic thing. It's a objective. It's analysis and recording. It's actually a few steps of this one. So so I'll just show you that. Now one with the research characteristic. What is the research characteristic? What we call the research. So it should be controlled. So the exploring the causality of the relation to the two variable and set up the minimize the effect factors affecting the relation. So it should be a control. The experiment should be done in a controlled manner. It should be rigorous. So that the question should ask that should be the relevant, appropriate, and the justified. The study should be done in a systematic way. It should not be the hazardous way. And this valid and variable. So the question should be valid, and it should be the verifiable, that whatever the data we are collecting, it is verified or not. It is empirical. So empirical is derived the experiment from the observation rather than the theory. So the conclusion drawn based upon the hard evidence gathered from the information. And it should be the critical scrutiny of the procedure should be maintained this one. So this is the research and the research characteristics. So now what is the scientific research? So is this something different from the research? No, it is not that different from the research. The scientific research is systematic, controlled, and empirical or critical investigation of the scientific theories and hypotheses. I'm just telling you the scientific theories and hypotheses. So we all are aware of these words of that the theories and hypothesis. Hypothesis is a process of the tentative explanation of the prediction, and theory it will be called theory when it will be justified, when it will be tested or the verified. Then it will be called the theory. So in the scientific research, so what are the purposes of the scientific research? So there are the two important purpose in the scientific research. That is, one is the minimum consumption of the energy and material. So we'll just keep in mind that our energy and material should be the minimum consumption, because it should not be a huge and it should not be means we should not waste that thing. So first we have to keep in mind of this one, and then the maximum conversion of energy. So in the science and technology, that will just always pointed out this thing, this minimum consumption and the maximum minimum consumption and maximum conversion. And so this is one of the purpose of the scientific, as well as I told that I can tell that this is a technological that in the research also there is the same purpose. So there are some motivation of the scientific research, that is the intellectual ambition and the problem solving. So problem solving, that what we experience the problem and solve using this scientific knowledge. So I'll show one. I'll show one a curve of the history. Then I hope that all know this. All this all these the pictures is there, or so everybody knows that. But why I kept this slide that, okay, the scientific research is research, but it's research, but research contains the many things. So the first one, if we go back to this one, we see that the philosophers. So the philosophers, so that when there was no science, so that time the philosophy was treated as a science. So we know all these great names that are Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, all are the great philosophers. So the philosophy that's so important of this showing to that, okay, the logic. So the philosophy based on the logic, and logic is one of the pillar of the science. So the philosophers so established logic, and they showed this lot of things, and then came to the scientists like this, Newton, Einstein, all the scientists. So they do the real research. They ask the real questions, and they show that how to do this one. So next, actually, the scientists come the inventor, like the Edison, Tesla. So based on their theories, that on the scientists' theories, they actually invented something which actually changed the world, like the Edison bulb invention. It's changed the world. Then from the inventor, it comes to the now innovators. The innovators, kind of like that, the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates, they actually take their invention and they go to the next level. And they say, and innovation kind of, okay, the Google, Facebook, Apple, I just gave a example, but that is not the ultimate example. There are a lot of examples that innovation that we are actually using. This kind of our phone, laptop, all are actually come from this all together, and actually we are using this fruit. So that's I can say. So okay, with this short introduction, I'll just go. I'll just go to my next part of the talk, that is called the objective of the research. So okay, why students or why people will be interested on the research? So so I can the first know that the main aim of the research is to find out the truth which is hidden and which is not has not been discovered yet. Like that means I can just give an example like that, that you know that this to discovering the what is going on this in the Mars, for the Mars mission, and this actually we are actually trying the hidden truth behind that, what is there, whether any life was there, either water is there or not. This research is continuously going on. And another one, to serve the society by the solving problems. So in any societal problem, where it can be solved by using the research, this fundamental or the application research, means it can be solved by that's many steps of the research. To overcome and solve the problem occurring in our everyday life. Another one, to develop the new scientific method, concept, and theories to solve the scientific and non-scientific problem. To discover the new thing and test the existing facts. And another one, to analyze the event or process of phenomena that identify the cause and effect relationship. So, so this is the objective of research. Now the question will come that, okay, how will do the research? So is there any procedure is there? So okay, so some procedural steps in the research, which is not by default, but of course we can say that this is kind of steps. So in these steps, okay, the first, identification a research problem. Okay, that is the first step. Okay, first you have to identify the problem. Then we go to the review and literature. Either this problem is already mentioned in the literature, has anybody has research on this, what is known about this problem. Then, okay, something is known, something is unknown, we formulate the hypothesis. So with this hypothesis, we design a research. And then we go to the data collection. So, okay, we design, this is the research design, means like this, we will do the research, and then we'll output as a data collection, we'll data collect. And then we'll analyze the data and interpret the data, and we'll do the final report of the presentation. And so, so this you can say that is a many steps, many steps research, but it can be concise in a 4-step method. That is called the observe. Okay. You identify the research problem is not always that you have to look or you have to identify something from anywhere. You can observe. You can observe from the nature also, and you can observe, and you may not find the answer. So, okay, you go to these two steps and go to the hypothesis. And from the hypothesis, okay, you test, means you just design the research and data collection, and then you predict. So if the experiment proves the hypothesis to be true, then it becomes a theory. And if it is not true, then you actually modify that one, and you just you modify and check again. If it is not true, then you just reject that one and you think about any other hypothesis. So this is a research. Actually, it's called a four-step method of the method of the research. Also, one more thing that is called the structure of the research in an hourglass. So if we look at in the hourglass in a whole research, it's begin with the broad questions. And you narrow down and focus in a narrow way. It's you focus and you observe the things, and you just analyze and you collect the data. You analyze the data, research conclusion, and generalize the back to the questions. So this is okay. This is, I can say that, okay, it's a another way to see that how the research can be. But in the next, I will give an example of that. What I showed here, I will give a real example of this, that how research has been done. Okay, so if we look at this one, okay, there are a lot of steps. If we look at that, okay, the first observe this new disease, like that. You take example our recent disease, the COVID-19. Okay, it's a new disease. Okay, we observed that. Okay, first it was observed in the Wuhan in China. That is observed. Then the question came whether it's a pathogenesis, where the origin is, any drug is there for this one. That's the question. Then we go to the searching the literature. We check the book, magazine, newspaper, Google search, Wikipedia, magazine. We check all over. We found something. That it is related. It is more like that the SARS-CoV, and which is already known. But it is something different. Okay. Then we go to the hypothesis. Any targetable protein is there, okay, that we all know now right now. That is the COVID-19 has this spike protein. Any lead molecule is there. What will be the work plan? Any synopsis is there. Okay, then scientists start doing the experiment. Any in vitro, so they just synthesize some drug. They try the in vitro. They just try some clinical trials. So the collecting data. Who was collecting data? For all these vaccines came, and they're collecting data because based on the trials, and then the conclusion. Okay, new drug molecule. So COVID-19. Okay, there are a lot of this. Some 4 or 5 vaccines. They find out finally, and they share results with this journal publication, patent file, magazine. So now this patent filed by the all the industry public, and then they actually. And they actually go to the development things. This by the pharma companies, this side like this Bharat Biotech, this AstraZeneca, they actually took that, and then finally the vaccine came. This in vitro or in muscular came, and now the Pfizer is working an oral tablet. And so for the COVID-19 patient, they are not going to the injection; they are just going to the oral tablet. So this is all about the research. So it is just a COVID-19. I said the example. That's the new example, but that is not the fact for the always. That is for anything, any new material. So you can also go through, and then you can come to here. So this is the example of the real example. So okay, so we have seen that the important is there. There are some more important is there. That is important for all pharmaceutical. Yeah, and we see the other industries like it is true for all these the electronic industries, all this material industry. It is there, and yeah, it's isolation identification. Actually, the new material or the new element. Yes, like that. This from the research only. Find out the graphene that came 2010. That's Nobel Prize on the graphene. That also came from the research from the UK. And the new element, we know that in the periodic table, we look at that 118 this organization, and is a new element discovered, and that also came through the research. Yeah, of course, there is no No image of the material is yet have been published because its short life is very less. Okay, it has so the research has some is assisted to understand the nature and natural phenomena that we have seen already, and this process of the human genome theory is superconductivity research. Superconductivity research has been discovered through research, and of course, one of the pioneer is this our great Bharat Professor Sienna Rao. He is one of the pioneer of this superconductivity research. So it helps find the solution and the social problem, maximum efficiency, and okay, and so on. There are a lot of importance of this research that we have seen and we already experienced of this. So, but there are some common conception or the misconception, I can tell, misconception of scientific research. Because there are some like this experimental research is the more scientific than the descriptive. A study deemed to the scientific find there is a clear set of the testable question or underlying design, the methods appropriate answer and the question and falsely completing the hypothesis. A study is explicitly linked to the theory and the previous research. So the research in education is fundamentally different from the hard science. So there are some conception. Also, there are some misconceptions. From the student point of view, I can say that, of course, the students sometimes think the research is very hard. All research involves risk, and if project fail, its development, there is no research. So along with the career, we can accumulate this lot of failure. Research always takes much longer time. It's a crucial and it's a fear of failure, work hard and discourage. So now I can tell that this is all the misconception about the research. Research is not about this, all these negative points. Research, I have shown this and I am going to show also. Research has a lot of positive points. So we have to take in mind that the positive things, not this misconception about the research. Okay, so next I will go to the types of the research. Means what are the different types of research? So research is not is unidirectional; it's a multi-directional. So it's a different types of the research. It's kind of classified the research. Okay, like this we can if we classify it like this in the type 1. Is a basic research or the applied research. So basic or fundamental research leads to the new theory or new property of the matter or even existence of a new matter, knowledge, and which has not been reported before. So basic research, okay, we can give it the example like the Einstein that create the theory of relativity. It's a pure or the basic, or we can say the fundamental research. Like that, one more we can say also that this Benjamin Franklin, this kite and key experiment to find the electricity. So he's one of the pioneer or the father figure of the generation of the electricity. So that experiment or that research also kind of a fundamental research. On the other hand, the applied research means the research which we are going to apply in our real field, kind of battery. Okay, take up the lithium battery. Lithium battery research is applied research because this lithium battery, we're going to use the laptop, mobile, all these the gadgets. So this is a applied research. So there is some basic fundamental difference on the basic and applied research. The basic is a pure and fundamental research, applies the central purpose to solve the immediate problem. So it's a discovery of the new knowledge. It's improve the product and process. So yeah, applied research always do how to improve, how to kind of applied research, how to minimize the things. And so initially the chip that or chip or this memory card or the USB card what we are using as a pen drive, it was a huge. Now it's come down, and now in a small that in a fingertip come in a 1 TB we can data store. So applied research always that's improve the product and process. And basic research always takes some many years, but applied research also takes many research, but it relies or always stick on the basic research. It's not go beyond that. Okay. Apart from that, there are some qualitative and quantitative research. I'm going to the next slide, and other one is the experimental and the non-experimental. In the qualitative and the quantitative research, so in the qualitative research, there is objectives to gain to understand the underlying reason and the motivation. So it's usually the this qualitative research is usually a small number and is a non-statistical. Non-statistical means there is no data we'll find out from that. So it is come from some group discussion or individual with the interview or focus of the group. So these are the okay. That also a research. Suppose I want to buy something. So for that I study, I talk to the people and I find out What is that? What is the price? What is the material? What is it? So these collecting these data also useful. Well, and that also a research that we cannot say that this is not a research. This research is not always do the experiment and do some data and find out. So that is another part of the research. That is called the qualitative research. And quantitative research, yeah, it's actually based on the statistical data from the survey, from the simulation, from the modeling. Actually, we end up the conclusion with this. So this is the quality, and this experimental so experimental result is kind of this quantitative research, and non-experimental is a kind of qualitative research. Apart from that, there are some more different type of research, some descriptive research, correlation research, explanatory research, exploratory research, some predictive perspective. There are some different types of there. But in a scientific, in a talk based on the scientific research, I'm not going to detail on that, but I'm just showing that, okay, the research is not only the basic and applied. There are other classification or other types also there. Okay, just I'm going to the next one. That is the most important. That is called the research design and the data and the data processing. So I can say that one of the most important or heart of the research or scientific research, that is called the research design and this data processing. So if we define that the research design and by the GICPUT, that is a research design is defined as a master plan, so specifying the methods and the procedure for the collection and analyzing or needed the information. On the other hand, in another definition also present that the research design is a plan, structure, and strategy intervened conceived show as obtain answer and research question to control the verification. So these are the definition. These are the definition to define the research design. But okay, if we go to the real, how the research design includes, it actually includes a kind of points like the name of the study, the purpose of the study, the location where the study would be conducted, the nature of the data required, from where the required data can be collected, what's the time, what's the sample design, what's the data collection, what's the data analysis. So there are a lot of questions. So before designing an experiment for the research, we have to ask a lot of questions and we have to find a lot of answers. So I'm not going to all the details. I'm just pointing out these two that important: this data collection and the data analysis. So these are the most important thing of this. So what is the data collection? So by definition, data collection is a process by which the researcher collects the information needed to answer the research problem. So as I showed before that, okay, we asked the question, we found some hypothesis, and from the hypothesis, okay, we asked to establish the idea that, okay, what are the things we need? Okay, what are the information we need? So what are the data we have to collect? So this is the data collection. So the task of data collection begins after a research problem has been defined or the research design is chalked out. So I'll just give a small example of this qualitative, quantitative research and the data collection. So in a quantitative research data collection, so there are the three steps. The true experiment research means the testing the measure systematic observation and the recording the data collection, trials, tracking, performance of the data collection. So when a true experiment was done and how the data collection will be done. But not always, I shared before also that not always the true experiment research always be conducted. Sometimes a quasi experiment also. This quasi experiment means, okay, you did some experiment and you collect some data by some verbally or some ask some groups, and yeah, we just see from the previous data how it is coming. So based on that, so this is quasi, and other one is a non-experimental. Non-experimental research means, okay, there is no experiment is done, kind of the qualitative research. So it's a survey, it's a close-ended questions, interview, questionnaire, the online polls, sensor data collection, attitude data collection. So there are a lot of different data collection procedure is there. So yes, I tell you all about this is a quantitative research, because all this information will be helpful to actually to analyze the data for finding the answer of the question was asked during the research. So, okay, data collection is not only the, we have collected a lot of data. Now, what we have to analyze the data. Otherwise data collection actually it will be no meaning, it will be in vain if we don't analyze properly. So what is the data analysis? So data analysis is the most crucial part of any research. So it's a process that is nothing but gathering the information using the proper applications and the tool which allows you to explore the data and find the pattern in it. So based on that, the information of the data, you can make the decision and you can get the ultimate decision. So in the data analysis part, it's actually process is ordering, categorizing, manipulating, summarizing by this process. So data, what are the data requirements? What are the data collection process? Now data analysis and the data interpretation. So in the data interpretation, actually there are a lot of tools or data analyst tools are available. I've just taken an example of the data analysis. This is a statistical tools are available for analyzing or analyzing the data. Yes, so we are familiar with this Microsoft Excel, and this is the Python. This is when we deal with a large number of vast number of data. So that time, okay, whatever the general data analyst tools are available may not help. So that's why actually it's moving and it's improving day by day also. So this Python is one of them, which is using recently. There are some other mathematical and other tools are there. I'm not also familiar of all, but yes, I can say that some other also is available. And these all are mostly the statistical tools. But as a scientist or as a researcher, as a scientist researcher, we are not always use all of them too, but based on our requirement, we do this. So, okay, so in this one, I will just give an example of my research in this way. So, so during my PhD, I synthesized a material that is called the palladium phosphosulfide. In this one, palladium, phosphorus, and sulfur is there. So this is one of the microscopy image of the material. Now we want to study or want to get the XRD data. Okay, we found the XRD data. So this is the data collection, and this is the data collection. Data collection is done. Now, what we will do with this XRD? Okay, this XRD is there, and okay, fine, XRD. But what we will do? So the first and foremost things we will try. Okay, what are the peaks? How it's come out? So we found the literature and we actually look at the literature. So this material was synthesized only in 1972. After that, actually nobody worked on this material. So in the 1972, they used and they did some single crystal study, and from there they find out what are the peaks. So okay, we found out that this is the peaks. But they prepare the method and our preparation method is different. So with this different method, whether I get any another phase or any another product during this, whether can I find out from my XRD? Okay, I see that it matches, but there are some small peaks which is not matches with the reflection is available in the literature or from the single crystal data. So for that, we did another data collection. That is our data analysis, we can say. With this XRD data, we analyze with a known software that is called the Rietveld refinement. So with this Rietveld refinement, we actually analyze this data. And with this data analyzing, we found that so okay, so this is the experimental and this is the theoretical. Theoretical data is a dotted theoretical data, and this is the difference from the theory and experiment. And we found that from the theory and the experiment there is not much change. Only the reflection change is there, but that is because of they studies the single crystal. Our is a polycrystalline material. So from this one we can say that okay, our material is a polycrystalline. So okay, now what interpretation or what information we are getting? Our material is a polycrystalline and it is a single phase. It is not many phases present, because if many phases is present, then this line, this pink color line will be the difference. This pink color, there will be some changes. That changes is not there, means it is the single phase material. Okay, so okay, we found out, we checked that okay, this is the structure. This is the structure of the material that is known or that is simulated using this XRD software. And this is the palladium, phosphorus, and sulfur, and they form kind of this layered material that we can see from this microscopy also, that it has some layers. So it has a layer material, and they are actually arranged in this way. So still, if we still interpret that, what are the information we can get? Okay, we can get from the crystallized size, from the width of the XRD peak. We can find the lattice parameter of this ABC from the unit cell, and we can find out the interplanar distance from this XRD information, or analyzing the information. So that's why I have been saying, and I'm saying now that also the data and data collection, or this one is not the ultimate. Now analyze or interpretation data is the most important to find out something new or find out something hidden, which is not have been discovered or not have been found out before. So I can give another example. Another example of this my material. I just synthesized this material. This is a gallium nitride material. So experimentally finding with this, we found this one. But okay, we have not done the refinement of this one, but we actually analyze this meta with the known, it's found in the literature, or actually this is called the JCPDS file for the all materials, all kind of known materials. XRD data is there. So we are matching the data. Okay, we match that data, and okay, it's nicely matched with the wood-dry structure of the gallium nitride. But one thing, if you find out that okay, these peaks are broad compared to the known, because known is showing, and is known data showing only a single line, which is coming from the single crystal. So our material is all not a single crystal, it's a polycrystalline, and its actually size is a nanometer size. This one, its crystallized size is so small, so that's why peak become broadened. Peak is not very sharp like a single crystal. So if we analyze the data and these things, we will find out this a lot of information from this. I just give these two examples to give the flavor of this data analysis. Okay, the next one, I'll just talk about some practical difficulties and challenges. So there are a lot of these practical difficulties and challenges they are doing research here. So first of all, this lack of scientific training in a methodology research. So there is some insufficient this component of the researcher, and many take a leap to the dark without knowing what is going, what have to do, and what will be the result. So these things, these awareness has to be get that. We have to we have to train our students in such a way that they should not be they should aware what is going on, or what will be our result, means what we are doing. And of course, it's a large country, so there are the many issues, and kind of this illiteracy is one of the issue. But illiteracy is not an issue. But I can point out here, I can say that the scientific illiteracy is still an issue, and we have to overcome this. So challenging regarding the funds, yes, of course, we want to do the research, we need a fund, and to get the fund, yes, it's actually a challenge, and we have to overcome this challenge. Is a problem in this conceptual and yes, conceptualization is of course a problem, and this we have to find the or we have to get the concept of the what we are going to do, and this, and lack of the curiosity driven. Yes, and actually students should be more curious actually what is going on and what they want actually, or what will be the result. So that curiosity driven is a lack. I hope that it will be overcome soon. And the insufficient interaction. Yes, students are not. I always not blame the students. Actually, the students and we as a faculty also not interact very frequently with all the respected or all the foreigner researcher very often. And that should be done. What I have seen during my this postdoctoral tenure, I show that this foreign researchers, they are very much interactive. They interact with this faculty students without any hesitation. and they never fear to ask any type of questions, and they never ashamed of asking a silly questions. Okay, my battery is running down. I'm just going too fast, and this is a and publication charge also is very expensive. So so with this all difficulties, it is not with this all difficulties, it is not I'm not demotivate the students to come to the research. This is, I'm showing the real picture of this. But apart from that, if we see the Indian research is going quite well. If you see the country that leading this publication, you see the China, United States, and after that only India. This 2018 data, the India published almost 1,35,788 papers in that year, and that is from the global share, that 5.3%. So that is not, and this is the and this is our research from 2000 to 2018, and it is continuously increasing. And if we see the there's news that IISc Bengaluru reached the world best in the research impact in the QS list. So these are the exciting news, or these are the interested news for the student to come into that. And apart from that, if you see that this global 30 nature index in the chemistry itself, the global ranking is the 9th in the year. The United States, China, Germany, Japan, UK, France, and then the India. And another one is that this 15.8% of Indian research work featured in world top 10 journals. So, and India ranked 5th in the global research publications. So these also are actually exciting news for the research to come into that. And of course, with this exciting, some other things is there, like that I mentioned that the fund is compared to less compared to the other developed countries. And our number of researchers is actually come to the field is very less compared to all these 3 weeks, this one. And this is the faculty-wise doctorate degree awarded discipline. So where we can see that the science and engineering technology is almost the 70%. So actually, from my point of view, we need to improve this. So next one is the research ethics. I'm just going quite fast because my laptop charge is coming down and I have the power cut in my room. So I'm just going a little fast. So ethics is also important because there's honesty of the report, result, methods, and procedure, and publication data do not fabricate, falsify, or misinterpret the data. And so we as a researcher, we have to keep in mind we have to be very much honest while presenting, while giving any data and any information, because that depends, and that will depend a lot. And when you come to the research, you will understand that. So the criteria for the good research topic, it's a good research topic that the topic should be feasible, interesting, novel, ethical, and relevant. And altogether, we call it should be final. Quality of good research, I'm saying that it's a systematic, controlled, logical, empirical, repeatable, and self-correcting. And last, I will just talk about the students who are going to PhD. So for that, I will tell I just quote the Professor P. Balaram, the former director of IISc. He told that PhD degree is a passport to the research career. So if you start the PhD degree, you will end up here. So during your journey, you will remember, understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate and create a lot. So it's a point where the values, tradition, style, science transmitted from one generation to the another. So with this, I'll just conclude my talk with this. And thank you to all. I hope all these chemistry students, they actually know that what are these elements. So I just arrange them and tell you to thank you for listening and attending this lecture. Thank you to all.
Thank you very much, sir, for an informative session on research methodology. So I hope all the participants have grasped by Dr. Sujoy Sarkar's presentation. Thank you very much, sir, once again. It's now time for question and answer session. I now request all the participants to unmute your mic and ask questions one by one or to post in the chat box.
Yeah. or okay, if I not able to answer you right now because of this laptop battery charge, I am just giving my mail ID. Anybody want any questions come to mind, you can ask me. I'll try to give the answer to all.
Namaste, sir.
Yeah.
Namaste. You can also join us using your mobile, sir. If that is the problem, the link
Okay,
is, we will try to send the link to your mobile. Can you join us using your mobile?
okay. Yeah, because actually the problem is the last 3 hours there is a power cut. So and power is not
it's
coming.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
You
but
have done your job. It's a fantastic job, and you have inspired us in so many ways. So we would like to hear from you if you join from your mobile phone. Sunil, can you send sir the link to his mobile?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Dr. Sujoy sir posted his mail ID in the chat box. You can note down it.
yeah, I'm here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the alternative arrangement. We were troubling you.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all.
There are some questions on the chat box, I suppose.
Sir, actually participants are asking for your PPT. If you mail,
PPT.
can you mail it to us?
Okay. You can send me the email or okay.
Our college to our college mail ID. If you send, we can send them in turn.
Yeah. I can send. No problem. There is no problem. Yeah. I'll send it. No problem.
There is one question, sir. How many papers required minimum for completion of the PhD?
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good question. See, I can say that there is no thumb rule for that how many papers, but it will depend on the institution and it varies from institution to institution. See, like this in this BIT Chennai campus, you have to publish at least the 2 papers before you submit your final. And in other institutes, it's not mandatory, but some institute they need more than 2 also. So I can say again that it's depend on the institution. Yeah.
Sir, would you like to share your research experiences so that it will be actually creating some impact on our student fraternity?
As Dr. Diba said that I did my PhD from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So there I work on this materials electrochemistry. So in this material electrochemistry, I have synthesized the materials in different ways, and then I use them. I take the material as a application and are used as a catalyst or electrocatalyst for different electrochemical applications, such as I use the material for the hydrogen evolution, electrocatalytic hydrogen evolution, oxygen reduction. And not only that, because I showed that this material is a layer type material, and layer type material is a good for this lithium intercalation, deintercalation. So I use this material for lithium and sodium ion batteries. And this material also a good oxygen reduction. So I use is a fuel cell also. So that was the first part of the project. So synthesize the material and use the different electrochemical application. In the second one, what I showed this gallium nitride. So I synthesize the gallium nitride by electrochemically and use for any photocatalytic or photoelectrochemical this one. So this is altogether my PhD process. But in my postdoctoral, I actually go something deeper, because electrochemistry is the interface, is a electrolyte electrode interface. I am interested, what is happening in the interface. So for that, I learned a technique called the scanning electrochemical microscopy. So that is different from the scanning SEM. Means it is a scanning electrochemical microscopy means the current, actually using the current we can map, where we can get the image of the electrode surface. So this I learned in the Israel, and in my second postdoc in the USA, I learned the nano electrochemistry. So I actually study the interface in a nanometer scale, or using a nanometer size electrode. So there I actually work as a photoelectrochemistry. So using the photo, we can split the water, and we actually find and actually get the oxygen and hydrogen. So this is also another research experience I have. Yeah.
Actually, they have started posting the questions. Would you like to answer it?
Okay. Is there a requirement or MPhil before doing? Okay, the question from the Manjunath asked that, is there a requirement of MPhil before doing PhD, especially for social science? I can say that the answer is no, because MPhil is not needed for doing the PhD. PhD, you can come straight away after your post-graduation, or if you are doing this BTech or MTech, you can come straight for it. No need this MPhil. MPhil is another degree, and you just check from this our DST or UGC whether MPhil degree will be given after that what or not. Yeah, please check that. Any peer-reviewed journal accept for our academic career? This Shiladitya Purakasta, can you ask the question again using the unmute? What is H index and Copas index? Okay, this Anna Puroreddy asked the question that what is the H index? Okay, H index is the, suppose you publish 10 papers, okay, and in the 10 papers, each paper have the 10 number of citation. Citation means other people referred your paper. So if you have 10 papers and it's 10 times citation each paper, then your H index will be 10. Suppose in among the 10 papers, 2 papers have citation 5 times or more, then your H index will be the 2. It cannot be 5 or it cannot be 10. Whatever number you publish and whatever citation. So the minimum number of citation and a minimum number of paper will be your H index. Okay, only this question, any peer-reviewed journal accept for our academic career? That question I didn't get actually. But if you are asking that whether you can publish a journal during your undergraduate or PG, my answer is yes, you can publish any peer-reviewed journal in your academic career. There is not at all and no issue of at all. Yeah, if any question left, because I see that only 6 questions. Any other? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell me. Hello, tell me.
Sir, Parvatikar sir, KPN sir has joined.
So, sir, ಹೇಳೋಣ ಬಿಡಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹೇಳಿ.
If I quit PhD due to some problem, even after passing coursework and example, then if I join again the PhD course, another university student need to do the coursework exam. Yes, if you these are BD Sunil Kumar questions. I'm giving answer. Yes. If you do the other university, you have to follow the other university's rules. And if they have the coursework before starting the PhD, then yes, you have to do the coursework exam, because they will not consider your previous institution coursework.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Sujoy Sarkar, for answering all the queries of the participants. I thank you once again.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is one important announcement. Feedback link is also sent to your mail ID. Please fill the feedback so that we have an improvement in upcoming sessions. Upcoming.
Sure.
Now we have come to an end of technical session. Now we'll start the valedictory session, and Mrs. Vasanti K, Associate Professor, Department of Sociology, will conduct the further deliberations. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Narasimha Parvatikar, sir. Greetings of the day, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to you all for the valedictory program of the 3 days international virtual workshop on research methodology that is organized by the Physical Sciences Department in association with IQAC of APS College of Arts and Science, NR Colony, Bengaluru. What a fascinating and stimulating session the last 3 days have seen. I'm sure all the distinguished participants will vouch for that. Some of the internationally known, leading and active scientists and researchers have delivered highly illuminating and enlightening talks, and we have been definitely privileged to listen to them on this occasion. However, as you all know, all programs will have to come to an end, a conclusion, and likewise, we are now calling it close. But remember, the process of learning goes on. To commence the valedictory deliberations, may I now request the permission of the president of today's program, Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, life member, trustee, and presently the vice president of APS Education Trust, to permit me to conduct the deliberations. I'm delighted to welcome Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy for this valedictory session. And he has been a great sense of and great support and encouragement for all of us to conduct all our academic activities. And it has been a great support from his side. And I now request Ms. Sonabai, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, APS College of Arts and Science, to introduce the president of today's program, Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, to the august audience. Over to you, Ms. Sonabai.
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to all the ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to introduce Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy to the august audience. Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, sir, basically a structural engineer, started his career as a professor in RV Engineering College. Sir is a pioneer in the field of academics and social welfare and is involved in many philanthropic activities. Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, sir, is the president of Sarkar Trust, RV College of Engineering, and Arpana Social Welfare Trust, Bengaluru. Sir is involved in many noble initiatives like providing scholarship of ₹5,000 each, more than 200 meritorious students every year, providing free midday meal to differently disabled students of our institution. For the past 25 years, Sir has been serving as President for Nehru Cooperative Bank, trustee member at Sheshadripuram Educational Trust and Sarvajanika Vidyarthi Nilaya, Vasant Nagar, Bengaluru, and also member trustee for 3 temples in and around Bengaluru. Sir also owns a partnership firm, Team 2 Architects and Consulting Engineers. Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, sir, is a life member of APS Educational Trust and has served as member, Board of Trustee and General Secretary of APS Educational Trust. Sir is presently serving as Vice President of APS Educational Trust and is Chairman, Governing Council of APS College of Engineering. Sir is a source of inspiration to all the students and faculty. We always look forward to his motivational talk during various programs. It is our privilege to have you here with us today, sir. I now invite Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, sir, to deliver his presidential remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
sorry, small changes there. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Hmm?
Small changes there. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over to Vasanthi, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sonabai, madam. Now we have the feedback from the participants. So now is the time to know what is the participants have to say about the 3 days workshop. And participants can express their opinion, their viewpoints by raising their hands in the chat box, by unmuting themselves. And meanwhile, we have 3 people who have already expressed their desire to speak about the workshop. May now invite Professor Samirana, Faculty, Computer Science Department, APS College of Engineering, who is desire of expressing his views on the conduct of the workshop.
Good afternoon, one and all. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. It was an immense pleasure in participating in this 3 days virtual workshop. This workshop has given a very wider insight into various aspects of research of different domains. It was really helpful for various research scholars like me to know about the current happenings. In this tough pandemic time, our craze for learning should not cease. Workshops like this give us a platform for the same to continue our learning curve. I'm indeed grateful to APS Educational Trust and APS College of Arts and Science for giving me an opportunity to participate in this workshop. Resource persons were very, very knowledgeable, fantabulous really. The kind of speech that they have given, the kind of information that they have shared was really very good. And the sessions were really very, very informative. I would request the college to organize many more such events and give us an opportunity to participate. I thank one and all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Samirana, for your very positive feedback, and your positive feedback will give us more strength to conduct similar academic activities. Definitely, we will look forward to having you also as one of the participants, or maybe even as a resource persons in future time.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Now I invite one more participant, Dr. Arun Kumar Lagashetty, Associate Professor of Chemistry, Postgraduate Department of Studies and Research in Chemistry, Sri Krishna Devaraya University, Bellary, Karnataka. Dr. Arun Kumar Lagashetty. Are you there, sir?
Can I audible you?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes. Madam, first of all, I thank the APS management for arranging such wonderful and informative workshop, virtual workshop during this pandemic situation also, because most of the researchers are not reaching directly, but you have created a media in a vacuum to reach the all research scholars with a scientific approach. And most of the resource persons have given a wonderful and very informative lectures, and the topics they have selected is very and highly informative and applicable oriented topics, especially in morning, the Professor Kulkarni and Professor Venkatraman, Professor Umarji, and what they have given, their work is directly reaching to the application oriented, which solves the present problems of the society. And it is a very interesting initiative as the taken by the APS management, and you have struggled a lot to arrange these things, and it is a good struggle to select the particular and applicable oriented lectures by various resource persons. Really, I enjoyed these 3 days with a research mood, and most of my students are also enjoyed this kind of research work, and they know, they understand. 2 days back only they have expressed, sir, we understand what is research after listening the first lecture by a madam. Madam has given very bottom to we heard from the madam, so that it will be a very good initiative that is taken by the management. So on behalf of our students and my own behalf, I thank all the management for arranging such wonderful sessions in this pandemic situation. I also thank the faculties who are involved, and they have taken a active participation to arrange such kinds of lecture. So in future also, if anything it is possible from your side, kindly intimate us, madam, so that we will actively participate in that situation. So I really enjoyed. So once again, I thank all the participants and resource persons for involving in this kind of virtual workshop. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Arun Kumar Lakshetty. Your words have really been greatly encouraging, very positive. Undoubtedly, the researchers, the scientists who have addressed the students were of extraordinarily well-known and highly knowledgeable. And our student community and also the faculty of physical sciences have been definitely enlightened and enriched by their knowledge and experience. I now call upon Rakshit Tyagaraj, 4th semester BSc students, chemistry, botany, zoology combination of our college. He would like to express his viewpoints, his feedback on the conduct of this workshop. Rakshit Tyagaraj, are you there?
Hi, Namaste, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Namaste, everyone. This is Rakshit Tyagaraj from APS College of Arts and Science. I'm doing my Bachelor of Science degree, 4th SEM CBZ. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity for the feedback, to share my feedback. First of all, I would like to thank the management, our dynamic principal, ma'am, organizers, coordinators, IQAC of APS, and the entire organizing team for arranging this amazing international workshop on research methodology, which was a very good nourishment with abundant knowledge, information for the curious and budding scientists, and also for the people who are eagerly interested in the research field, of course. And definitely there are a few takeaways which I've learned from this workshop. I got a motivation for writing a good research paper, which I have learned from Dr. Kanchana ma'am. And also I learned about the material science, how to make the printing ink from Dr. Venkataraman sir. And also I got some good knowledge on how to make the scientific equipment from Dr. Arun Umarji sir. This was really a thoughtful, fruitful, and wonderful workshop, which helped me a lot. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rakshit, for enjoying and getting enlightened by the sessions on these 3 days. And we will definitely work hard and arrange many more such academic activities for the benefit of our students. And conducting this workshop has been a great pleasure, and it has been a very learning experience for all the organizing team. And on behalf of all of us, we are definitely pleased to know that so many positive feedbacks are being put on the chat box. Thank you all the participants, distinguished participants, including Dr. Shobha Devi. She also has expressed her appreciation for the 3 days virtual workshop. Yes, anyone else wanting to express their? Okay, thank you. Thank you a lot. I now request our respected principal and the chief organizer of this virtual workshop on research methodology,
Hello.
Dr. B. Jayesh. Yes, sir. Raghavendra Kulkarni.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, sir. Please come over and.
I'm Dr. Raghavendra S. Kulkarni from Gulbarga University.
Okay.
Though I am not very much belonging to your physical sciences, but I am from the biological sciences. I have witnessed the program. It was very systematically arranged, and I appreciate the APS College for arranging this kind of program. And my sister's son is there, Dr. Nasiu Parvatikar. He informed me about this, and I'm very happy that he is involved in this program and arranged. The program was very good, though I could not attend all the sessions, but some I have attended. See, research methodology is a very important aspect to be considered as far as research programs are should be implemented. See, in a research project, when you submit, the methodology is very important to be considered for sanction and approval. And in any publications, of course, the methods which are used should be very properly and systematically presented and applied. And I have to congratulate the principal and the organizing secretary and all of you for arranging so nice program. And if biology is also included in this, it would have been very fine. And I request the principal and all other organizing members see that, because we have zoology and botany and other biological subjects, we can arrange a program like this. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, madam.
Thank you. Yes, okay. Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, madam.
Oh, okay, sorry, sir. There was slight disconnect. I now request our respected principal and the chief organizer of this virtual workshop on research methodology, Dr. B. Jayashree, madam, to present her valedictory remarks.
Thank you, Vasanthi, madam. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the 3-day international virtual workshop on research methodology, and it is my privilege to provide the closing remarks. We shall be closing the door on a 3-day lively stimulating discussion and knowledge transfer. It is my honor to be entrusted with such an understanding at a gathering of such eminent people from the research community, field of industry, and academia from different parts of the world. As with all such events, and this workshop has been outstanding example, our minds have been assailed by a torrent of ideas, information, data interpretations, and visions. There is plenty to reflect upon, and if this in any way enhances our individual and collective contributions to meet the global research challenges, then the workshop can be truly adjudged a success. As we have seen over the past 3 days, there are many research opportunities around the globe to enhance the society by improving knowledge through the development of scientific theories, concepts, and ideas. The higher education institutions and government must ensure at all times that the world's precious young educated talents are accessed, channelized, and dispersed to the society in a timely and orderly manner with stable and reasonable employment. Researchers, in turn, must focus on systematic investigation, fertile discoveries, and better research strategies to enhance invention capacity from which the world at large can benefit. I'm sure we all have benefited in some way from this workshop. Numerous techniques and data interpretation have been outlined, and many methodologies have been delivered, covering the whole spectrum of research as seen from the perspective of students, research scholars, academicians alike. I would briefly like to review some of the main points aired during our deliberations. Firstly, it has been emphasized that the conventional research methodology base is sufficient to meet the basic demands with e-technological advances. The academic identity and reputation of an individual in the present scenario is expected to grow if research is carried out in collaboration with the eminent scientists of national and international repute. Frontiers in chemical and material sciences gives rise to new innovations through synthesis and modification of smart materials, R&D in polymer nanocomposites as multifunctional applications such as in biological application, humidity sensing, flexible sensors, battery, e-nose, smart fabrics for biomedical applications, battery and radiating shielding. These smart materials and polymer nanocomposites create a lot of scope and opportunities for students to explore and work on them, thus enabling them to take up research as their career or profession. Dr. Arun Umarji explained how to build scientific equipments indigenously with low-cost budget. This gives a lot of insight on how to cut down expenses and encourages many of the scholars and research aspirants to step into R&D. Research is a vast and often cyclical process with no clear path, say from point A to B. But as with any kind of exploration, it is always worth following a path of some kind. That scientific methodology was explained very precisely in this last session. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of APS College of Arts and Science, I would like to thank all the speakers and the keynote speaker, Dr. Ramesh, all the national and international participants. Their presence has been invaluable and without any doubt has helped to make this event a grand success. We greatly appreciate the support that we have received from the management in conducting this international workshop. Organizing this type of a virtual international workshop has given us a lot of impetus to organize many such resourceful programs in the coming years. And I'm sure our management will support us and the participants across the globe will come back to us. With these words, I would like to conclude and wish you all a very happy and bright future. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, Dr. Vijayashree, for making your valedictory remarks. And definitely it has been a great learning experience in many ways. And the feedback from Dr. Raghavendra Kulkarni in future programs, we will definitely try to include life sciences also in our activities, and we will definitely inform when such programs are conducted. Shri Raghavendra Kulkarni. Now, may I now request Professor KPN Murthy, the Vice President, life member, and the trustee of APS Education Trust to deliver his presidential remarks. Over to you, sir. Professor KP Narasimha Murthy.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
You are audible. You are
Yes, sir.
audible, sir.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. Greetings to everyone present in this international workshop. Chief guest, principal, teachers, and scholars around the globe. I, Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, take this opportunity to deliver my presidential speech. Department of Physical Science, APS College of Arts and Science, in association with IQAC, has organized a 3-day international virtual workshop on research methodology from 17 June 21 to 19 June 21. I would like to express my thankfulness to our esteemed resource persons who have acknowledged our invitation to share their expertise in this workshop for the benefit of young generation in the field of physical science. Workshop like this enables scholars and students to get an exposure and serve as a wonderful platform to learn about the current research and development in science. As a member of the teaching fraternity from the past 4 decades, I am thrilled to see how workshops and initiatives like this are breaking the border barriers and are helping our scholars, faculty members, and students to keep up the ever-increasing changes and drastic development in the field of science and technology. This will definitely aid in molding the research community at large. I congratulate all of you for coming together and participating in this resourceful workshop. I'm happy to see so many young, enthusiastic minds all over the globe on one platform. At the same time, I want to thank Dr. Principal Dr. Jayshree, taken as great experience. Such a great team work has been done by Dr. B. Jayshree, the organizing team, and the IQAC members of APS College, and I would like to appreciate the efforts and hard work that they have put in. Again, congratulations to all of you. Wishing you all a productive and fruitful career ahead. I want to thank once again all of you on behalf of T.B. Marti, our president, A.R. Acharya, our secretary, and myself, and also other trustees for the participants. Thanking you. Vandanegod. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Professor K.P.N. Murthy, Vice President, APS Education Trust, for giving us a pat on the back, for encouraging us. And I'm sure even in future, we will be receiving a lot of support from the management. As sir was mentioning, technology has really narrowed the barriers across the globe, and many young minds are able to come together and learn, discuss many things. And we would want to continue this endeavor even in future times. But for the time being, we have got to end this 3 days session. So now I now request Ms. Sonabai, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, to deliver her vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you.
Yeah. Greetings of the day. With a deep sense of gratitude, I present myself to propose vote of thanks at the valedictory session of 3 days international workshop on research methodology. It's a great honor and privilege to stand before you to extend the words of gratitude on this special occasion. It goes without saying that any program of this magnitude would not have been possible without the strong support of our management. We sincerely express our gratitude to Shri T.V. Maruti, President, Shri A.R. Acharya, General Secretary, Professor A. Prakash, Joint Secretary, and Shri A. Muralidhar, Chairman, Governing Council of our college. We thank Professor K.P. Narasimhamurthy, Vice President, for delivering presidential address. Sir has always shown keen interest in academic activities of our college. Respectful thanks to all the eminent resource persons, Dr. Kanchana C, Dr. A. Venkatraman, Professor Arun Umarji, Dr. Milind Kulkarni, and Dr. Sujoy Sarkar, who have made extremely wonderful presentations in the course of 3 days. I'm sure through these presentations, the chief goal of igniting the minds of young students and research scholars has definitely reached. The chief goal of igniting the the chief goal of igniting minds of the young students and research scholars has definitely reached. I express my heartfelt to all the resource persons on behalf of organizing team, IQAC, staff, and students of APS College of Arts and Science. I thank all of you once again. Now it's the time to convey our thanks to all academicians, teaching fraternity, research scholars, and all the enthusiastic participants across the globe whose active participation made this program a successful event. Thanks a lot to each one of you, and even in future, we hope to receive a similar response. On behalf of organizing team, IQAC, staff, and students of APS College of Arts and Science, I convey my heartfelt thanks. With immense feelings of respect and appreciation, I express my heartfelt thanks to our dynamic, motivating, and ever-active principal, Dr. B. Jayashree. Madam was greatly responsible in piecing together each and every part of this international virtual workshop. I also thank principals, staff, and students of sister institutions of APS Educational Trust. I personally thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff for your enormous support. Thank you all. Once again, be safe, stay healthy. Wish you all a wonderful future. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sonabai Madam, for proposing vote of thanks. And it has been a great time having each of the dignitaries and the participants on this 3 days virtual workshop. And on behalf of the staff, students, principal, and the management of APS Education Trust, I thank one and all once again. Stay safe. Bright future is ahead of you. Good day. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I wanted to on your videos so that let us take a screenshot we would like to take. All the participants, I request you to unmute your videos. Please keep it in on mode. Sunil?
You keep the videos on.
Yes, madam.
So, Sonabai?
Done, madam.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you one and all for your active participation. Have a great time.